Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video gonna be for the 9 of you and probably after this video for the none of you who are still into Helium. I'm gonna talk about all the crazy ass confusion going on with that mobile token regarding HIP 138 specifically. Did it pass? Did it not pass? Kind of the confusion even on my part. I fully misunderstood what was going on. We'll talk about the confusion that's not only happened to me but just everything as a whole, right? Between the confusion, what happened at the last minute with that vote. We'll talk about what's going on and the kind of the ramifications because it is pretty significant and things are pretty heated and divided right now, right? So we'll talk about it kind of briefly and kind of give our thoughts, right? So if that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this damn thing. So, where the confusion lies, and a lot of it was even just me, super confused by what the hell was going on. So, the main factor for me, at least, where my confusion was, I did not realize that this 138 vote was on all the sub-DAOs. I did not realize that there was one for VHNT, VE Mobile, and VIoT all going on simultaneously. I thought it was one proposal, all for V Mobile, all on that leg. That is not the case. So each sub-DAO did have their thing, whether or not that individual sub-DAO or that token was going to go back to HNT. So what ended up happening, right, because initially I seen screenshots and stuff of these things going, and I was like, what the hell, I saw something yesterday, this is what I saw. So initially my thought was that, okay, so none of them are going to HNT. So no, what it is that the mobile side, so the V mobile side, mobile specifically, is not going to HNT. The others actually did pass, and that's where the confusion is with seeing like these vote counts. Okay, so like the VHNT passed, VIoT passed, but again, the mobile did not. And a lot of controversy even here in itself, right? It was looking pretty primed to pass the entire time until the last minute. There was a huge sway in the vote by a single entity. This single wallet swayed the entire vote, right? If you're just glancing at it, you see, oh, well, it says for HIP, it got 57% of the vote. For it to fully go into effect, it has to meet that 67% threshold. So this person did stake enough just essentially to wreck the vote for it to not to pass. What is extremely confusing is, number one, that's a shit ton of money, right? That's like around $2 million worth of mobile token. Okay, not 2 million mobile tokens, $2 million worth of mobile token. This is kind of showing a bigger problem with the whole voting process in general, right? This is one thing that I have not been a big fan of, is that it's who has the most money, essentially, right? It's not something with a lot of the way the other typical mining things work with their governance votes, where it's essentially like with Bitcoin, for example, one CPU, one vote, etc., etc. In this case, it wouldn't necessarily work anyway, right? This is really a different animal. Okay, yes, it is a crypto project, but it's almost a hybrid between a business model and a crypto project. In reality, it's a business model that utilizes crypto. Okay, and this is actually how a lot of the Deepin projects work, right? So it is very different from your typical layer 1 and how that layer 1 is going to accrue value based on different transaction fees, etc., etc. That's not how we're making money with Helium, right? They're actually bringing in actual real world revenue by these real world use cases. So the big issue here is that the HIP process is like a mockery, right? In reality, we really need to start considering just getting rid of HIPs completely and just almost giving control on these regards to the foundation, to Helium Foundation and to Nova, because this is just a mockery. It makes zero sense for it to happen like this, and it's not something nefarious. It's not something, I mean, we don't know what their intentions were, but it's not something where they cheated, anything like that. This is fully within the realms of what it is. They had the mobile, they staked their mobile, and they voted with their mobile. It is what it is, but it's crazy for them to do it. It kind of doesn't make any sense because they are just shitting on the token. They're kind of getting rid of the only value that's there. And the reason we're saying it's time to get rid of these HIPs is just it's such a burden on what everything that's going on. In reality, it's holding so many things back at a time where, especially mobile's growth, is accelerating extremely. So much time is wasted on these governance proposals. And in reality, this is all the community is talking about, right? We're not talking about the crazy growth they're having, the crazy, the partnerships they're having, all the offload that's happening, like all these deals that are happening in the background. We're focusing on this garbage, okay? Which to me is just, it's too much of an emphasis on nothing that can be really done, right? Everything gets swayed one way or the other. Everything should just be done in the best interest of the network. And at this point, yes, it's going to make it centralized, but in reality, they do. This is where it's going to get complicated because everybody wants the decentralization factor. In reality, again, with these things, I'm kind of not there because it's not really true. In reality, who's creating the real value of the project here? It is the foundation. It is Nova. They are the one creating those partnerships, creating those deals, making those things happen. As the deployers, that's what's decentralized, right? Anybody can buy one of these antennas. We can offload data, participate in the network. That's what should be decentralized. But as far as this aspect goes, Nova should be in control here. They should be steering the ship in the direction that it needs to go. Okay, and in this case, we are taking like 20 steps backwards, borderline, making a mockery of the whole system, right? Because at this point, what ends up happening now, because again, I thought it was all of that, it's only mobile. So it is beyond ridiculous that the single portion that is carrying Helium, what we're all excited about with Helium is mobile, is essentially worthless. Okay, and I didn't even read the tweet, I didn't even look into it, and this is what kind of gave the clues that I was interpreting it wrong. But let's read the tweet again. HIP 138 was approved by HNT and IoT voters, but failed to pass with mobile voters, right? So that's the three aspects. So I completely misinterpreted. As a result, HIP 138 passed, and no HNT will be deposited into the mobile treasury after the implementation date, meaning there is no longer going to be anything backing the mobile token. So before, there was at least a minimum guaranteed swap rate coming from the treasury. That is no more. The mobile treasury will not receive 2.9 million HNT, and the foundation will not burn its 18.2 billion mobile from the mobile operations fund. Okay, so essentially right now, for example, in reality, again, this is the thing that people had trouble understanding. Mobile was just essentially made to be able to be redeemed for HNT. The actual treasury did have a guaranteed swap rate, which has always been available, and it's always been online on the stats page. So currently, it's 13,606 mobile per HNT currently. Any value essentially beyond that is just speculation. Okay, and this is kind of where people were conflicted in it. In reality, they wanted the speculation aspect of mobile. They wanted a coin that is a smaller market cap to be able to speculate on, just in case we had that similar run that we had last December, right? This is what people are kind of fixated on, right? Was this something that was kind of real and that should have taken place? Or was it manipulation and whales kind of playing their games? When we look at what's happened since then, like yes, we retraced and it did have a little run up in March, but what has happened since then? Right? It has just gone down and down and down and closer to the original swap rate, right? Which it's still, again, at a speculated premium. Even currently right now, we're at about 9,400 mobile to HNT. Okay, so this can progressively get worse and worse and worse until it reaches that point. And then now with nothing backing it, now without this, where's the value? There is none. And again, this is the most important aspect currently of Helium. Okay, this is where it doesn't make sense. Like, why would this person kind of like do it, right? So there had been talks in the Discord where they were talking about rescinding the vote possibly, or potentially this person misinterpreted it. I mean, how do you misinterpret a $2 million vote? I don't freaking know. Why would you also do this and make your token worthless? I don't know. Again, none of it in reality makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know if they figured out who this entity or person or wallet owner is to kind of discuss as to why they voted that way. What are they going to do? Are they going to do a revote and waste more time doing this? Or are they just going to rip off the Band-Aid and get rid of the damn hips period and kind of end this mockery so we can start moving forward? Okay, so I fully understand both sides. I get every aspect, but in reality, for this thing to move forward, If they're going to do it, they need to do it now. They just need to stop playing these damn games. Get rid of all these bullshit hips that come out every, like right now, even right now, there's so many other active ones. It's impossible to keep up. All the time that's being wasted on this instead of putting it towards the project itself and discussing how to continue to grow the project. That should be what we've been talking about these past like 3 to 4 months with all this crazy increase in growth in every aspect instead of all this bullshit, right? So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, how they handle this. As is right now, it is an extremely shitty situation if you are holding mobile. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions regarding what to do, what's the best practice with it, should you swap now? That's something that's going to be completely up to you. In reality, I have no idea. I've held it 50-50 between HNT this entire time. Am I probably going to swap it here and probably do closer to like an 80-20 and having more HNT? Probably, right? In reality, I'm kind of don't want to spend a whole lot of time just even debating. I'd rather just stop thinking about it, go there. We know all the value as the network grows is going to be on HNT. Okay, now the question is going to be, where do we go from here? And that's where it's extremely conflicted, right? There's going to be a lot of people against getting rid of hips. Kind of to each their own. Again, it is very highly debated. There is a lot of talk. And it's a hard one, bros. It's really curious as to see what the community decides. And even if they decide something, what's going to happen from the foundation? What's going to happen from Nova themselves? Like, what is the play here? Or are they just going to continue on? Again, for them to continue on with it like this and just go beyond doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense, especially for all the deployers. And considering that, again, this is the most bullish aspect of Helium as it is right now. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, it's hard to say on both ends, even on the speculation aspect of that, okay, now there's nothing backing it. You can make the same argument for 99% of crypto projects also, right? A lot of it is purely based on speculation. Does that really give you confidence, though? Is that really going to give, like, a VC firm confidence in the project? Like, okay, we're bullish on what they're doing. We're bullish on Deepin, this huge narrative, which, again, it is a huge narrative. It does seem like they have pretty big investors waiting to jump in. But, again, it's just a lot of confusion. With all this back and forth bullshit, it looks like it's amateur hour right now, right? Who would really want to invest in this and what's going on right now? It's borderline a mockery of the whole thing. We need to get rid of these hips, bro. Like, we're gonna have to wait and see, guys. Again, it's very confusing times, very uncertain times. We're gonna have to just see what happens here in the coming days, in the coming weeks, if anything at all. Right? It may just remain this way because this is what the community voted for. Although in reality, again, it was proven to be a mockery because there's so many people who do have such big bags of mobile that, again, it was looking like it was going to go one way, and at the last second, one single entity swayed the vote. Just, in my opinion, making a mockery of the whole thing. Right? Like, it's just beyond ridiculous. Currently, again, it's, as we know right here, it's just going to affect mobile currently as it is. Okay, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on it, kind of see how things progress. In reality, there's so many damn hips at this point. I'm going to obviously keep up with it. I'm into the community, but it's not something I'm going to be like every day on Discord for hours. Again, I hate using Discord. I hate scrolling through there. You literally... Like, even just trying to piece together what the hell happened took me like an hour of scrolling through all the damn activity, right? So I'll keep you guys updated once something significant happens here, but for now, it's just going to remain. I'm earning the mobile. I'll be swapping all mobile I'm getting now directly into HNT, though. I'm not even going to be messing with it, and that's just going to be how I'm going to play this, right? Because at the end of the day, the only token that we know is going to get value from network growth in reality is the HNT token, regardless of what happens here, right? So that's where my focus will be, so that's what I will be doing, right? So kind of take your own on that front. Let me know in the comments, guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is a bunch of bullshit? Let me know what do you guys think of them potentially getting rid of hips, though, and Nova kind of steering the ship. Like, what is your thoughts on that? I think that, to me, needs to be the more active discussion as far as where we go from here. Let me know in the comments, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I am out.